What was the dumbest way someone has unalived that you've heard about? When I was in high school, my agriculture teacher was driving the bus to take me and the rest of my FFA chapter to a convention. On the way, he ended up making an unexpected detour to a graveyard. He parked the bus, got off, and went to have a moment of silence by one of the tombstones. Everyone on the bus was confused, but we gave him his time because we could see that it was important. We asked him who he was visiting when he got back on the bus. He said it was one of his childhood friends. When he was a kid, he and his friends were roasting marshmallows by a fire. They were fucking around like kids do, and one of his friends accidentally ended up putting one of the hot roasting sticks through another friend's eye. I don't know the specific medical complications that took place, but he ended up dying. It was a total freak accident. I'm 27 now, but that story always stuck with me. I thought it was really sweet and thoughtful that he made a point of intermittently visiting his childhood friend. But also, what a dumb way to lose your life, especially at such a young age. Toronto lawyer Gary Hoy was giving a tour and decided to demonstrate his favorite party trick, throwing himself against the windows of the Toronto Dominion Bank Tower so the students could see just how resilient the glass was. Hoy had performed the stunt to audiences countless times before. As well as demonstrating the strength of the windows, it was clear that he enjoyed showing off a bit. The first time Hoy body slammed the window that day, he bounced off as he had at every other time. But then he threw himself at the window a second time. Instead of bouncing off the window as he had the first time, Hoy went straight through, plunging 24 stories down toward the building courtyard below. The fall killed him instantly. The glass didn't shatter immediately, but rather popped out of its frame. Top of the list is a teacher who attached wires from an electric blanket to himself to supposedly test pain tolerance. No idea if that's the real story, but he had apparently told people about it. He electrocuted himself. Second is the son of a friend's sister. He and his brother imagined themselves to be big-time gangsters. They stole a lawnmower from a neighbor who saw them and then drove to their home and took it back. They hopped in their car and drove back to his house to confront him for disrespecting them. He ran the brothers off by brandishing a firearm. They went home and got a baseball bat to show him who the real tough guys are. They went back, threatened the man, and he shot one of them in the leg. They ran to their car, gathered some courage, then went to confront the man again. This time one brother got a bullet to the eye and the other got one in the shoulder. One died and the other has a limp and can't throw a ball anymore. One of my family members died moving a piano alone. He managed to get the piano up the stairs into the study hall he'd had. Now he refused to move this thing forever cause of how heavy it obviously is and to do it alone. He finally got the motivation and did it for my aunt. Then when he got it up the stairs he turned around and said he forgot his drink and he didn't realize how tired he was, so his legs gave out on him when he tried to step down the stairs and he tumbled to his doom. 13 to 14 steps and shattered his collarbone where it broke and shot into his neck, puncturing his jugular vein, killing him shortly after the fall. All cause someone wanted to move the piano so more guests could fit in the living room. They never get visitors. They never got visitors, not even on holidays. We all went to my other cousin's house, so this was pointless. Happened before I was alive, but we've kept the same tradition since long before this. Also, no one owns a piano except that aunt still does, and the effing piano is back in the original spot too, as if to flip off my uncle lol. This one always sticks in my mind. From a book called Death in Yellowstone about true death accounts in the park. Most dog owners would do anything for their pet pooch, but one unfortunate man paid a heavy price when he rushed to rescue a dog. David Allen Kirwan and Ronald Ratliff were traveling through Yellowstone Park in 1981 with Ratliff's dog, Muzi. At about 1 p.m. on July 20th, Muzi got away from the pair and dived into a hot spring. Muzi had made a terrible mistake, as the Celestine spring that he had dived into was known to get as hot as 200 degrees Fahrenheit, 93 degrees Celsius. With Muzi yelping in pain, Kirwan and Ratliff rushed to the terrified dog's aid. Despite pleas from other park visitors, Kirwan dived into the boiling hot water to retrieve his friend's dog. Swimming out to the dog, Kirwan attempted to lift them out but was unable to do so. He disappeared under the water as he let go of Muzi, before returning to the surface and attempting to escape the pool. When Ratliff pulled his friend from the water, they discovered that he had received second-degree burns on his feet. Witnesses reportedly heard Kirwan mutter, That was stupid. How bad am I? That was a stupid thing I did. Kirwan had been blinded by the experience, and that wasn't the worst of it. When somebody tried to remove his shoes, his skin came off with it. He had received third-degree burns across the entirety of his body, including his head. Kirwan would die the following morning at Salt Lake City Hospital. Muzi also didn't survive. The hot springs in Yellowstone are extremely dangerous, some of them getting as hot as 205 degrees Fahrenheit, 96 degrees Celsius. Since 1870, 22 scalding deaths have been reported in the park's hot springs. Kirwan's death is notable in that he voluntarily got into the water. Most other deaths were the result of an accidental fall. Eaten alive? Okay, it happens. Lions, tigers, sharks, crocs. There's a laundry list of carnivores that never met a man they didn't like, especially with mushroom gravy. But an elephant? It's happened, although under the furthest thing from field conditions. Witness the bizarre case of Bertha Walt. Bertha worked as an office drone at a Swiss zoo during World War II. Now, even though she wasn't an animal keeper, the very location meant she had ample opportunity for contact with the animals. One in particular was a male Asian elephant named Chang, with whom she developed a close relationship. And by a close relationship, I mean that she would sleep in Chang's stall every once in a while. I mean, I've heard of size queens, but damn. Anyway, one morning, Bertha didn't show up for work and Chang's stall looked like the set of a Saw flick. The police, not quite accepting the fact that 2 + 2 most likely equaled 4, went looking for evidence and found it in the form of Bertha's frock, half-digested an elephant turd. There's your smoking gun, officer.